more money.
It's just as important in life as
this morning with the weather forecast for KURM country. Today we have a 20% chance of rain, mostly cloudy, a high this afternoon around 52 degrees. KURM's Information Hour continues 12 minutes after 5 o'clock. My name is Tommy Elmore, and I open up the radio station here at KURM every morning. It's 5:30. KURM's Information Hour will continue with our agricultural programming, successful farming. Listeners, you know, they kind of know what's going on. They're like, well, he should be, you know, if they had to guess, they know right at 5:30 I play these two farming programs. Sometimes I'll have something special like a horse report for what it's worth, but I don't this morning. 10 minutes before 6 o'clock, KURM's Information Hour will continue with anybody, and I say that kind of reserved. Anybody can sit down here and sort of do what I do. They may have problems. That's where you usually talk it, you know. It's not that hard to learn the mechanics, but doing the talking and mechanics and keep it going is hard. That's why your bigger stations like Cumulus and Butler Broadcast and all those, they're automated. Now, they're not doing anything. They got a guy sitting here just, you know, making sure the sound levels are okay. Maybe once or twice an hour, they'll play a pre-recorded weather forecast. December 21st, after admitted he'd been living a double life, Williams said he was actually Don LaRose, a pastor who disappeared from Hammond, Indiana in 1980. We have a guy here that's always doing something live like I'm doing right now, which is what sets us apart. It's what sets the Colonel apart is, you know, he does it the way he wants to do it. He don't follow the patterns. Well, most of my talking I've already done, except for funeral announcements. And here we go. And now, today's funeral announcements. Ted R. Calmer, 91, of Bella Vista, died Thursday, November 29th at Earlene Howard Hospice House in Springdale. He was born October 4th, 1916 in Oklahoma City. He married Pauline Bevan in 1939. He was employed in the aircraft industry and was also a farmer. His CB handle was Family Man. The Colonel, the guy I work for here, amazing, been in it 50 years. He's 73 years old, and he truly is a colonel. He served 35 years in the National Guard, retired, and hence that's why he's called the Colonel. He is, in my mind, a dinosaur of the broadcast industry. He is the last of the last. And you just don't find any Colonel Womacks anywhere.
All right, Dick Trammell, the one and only Dickie Trammell. Conversation last night at halftime, and that funny guy he's talking about has got to be Tommy Elmore. Some people call him Cornball. I'll tell you what, we've got a guy. We're going to have to pull off some of Ross Mulligan's play-by-play, Tommy, and that Boom Shamalaka. So I guess what we're going to...
Well, my name is Kermit Womack, and I'm the president of KURM Incorporated.
Covered by Cornball and Boomer. All right. It is 21 minutes after 7.
Well, when I was in high school, the radio station at Russellville had just gone on the air, and we had an old battery-operated radio, and I would pick that up. And I remember thinking to myself, and also told my dad one day, I said, you know, if I could get a job with that radio station, and they could just pay me $4 a day, I said I'd probably sign up for life.
We are coming up on 25 minutes after 7. And you're on the Breakfast Show.
Thanks to Wrangler.
In 1952, which I'm sure sounds like a previous century. I received an all-expense scholarship to Arkansas Tech. I remember going over to Russellville and visiting with the president of the school at that time, J.W. Hull, and I told Mr. Hull that probably I would have to decline this scholarship because it was for 1 year only. And he said, what would you say if I could guarantee you could go 4 years without costing you anything? And I said, well, Mr. Hall, I would be foolish not to take that opportunity. So I started over there in 1952, and within a month, he'd gotten me a job at the local radio station, and I started out in working as a newsman there. I remember the first Christmas, we had a Christmas party at the owner's home, and I had always looked at him as being absolutely a wealthy sort of fellow. His name was Russ Horn. Everybody was pretty well consuming some alcoholic beverages. Well, I was a teetotaler. I had never even tasted beer when I went to high school. And so the fellow got under the influence a little bit, Mr. Horn, and he said, kept asking me to have a drink. And I said, no, Russ, I don't drink. And he got perturbed. And he finally said to his wife, he said, Imogene, go back in the kitchen and see if you can find some milk for Kermit. And while you're back there, see if you can locate some gospel music for him to listen to.
If you see your brother standing by the road with a heavy load from the seeds he sowed.
Well, as fate would have it, over the years, Mr. Horn got out of the business and turned it over to his son.
You've got to try a little kindness, just show a little kindness, shine your light.
I wanted so bad to say to those people as I walked out of that meeting, you know, I think I'm going to celebrate this purchase tonight by drinking a glass of milk and listening to the Kingsmen Quartet.
Today, we hope that as many townspeople as possible are attending programs in the area.
I think it's a wonderful radio station. My radio is turned on of a morning at 5 o'clock before I ever get out of bed. Well, I like the programs they have. They don't have a bunch of foolishness on there all the time. And when they have things on there, it's the truth. You don't have to wonder what you're hearing because you know it's the truth.
Steve, come on in and join us here this morning. Steve, you know, it's sort of difficult to really look at the overall.
Well, I'm the mayor of Rogers. My name is Steve Womack. I've not always been the mayor. In 1979, I moved to Rogers to establish KURM Radio. I remember, it's ironic we're in downtown Rogers, I remember right around the corner is where our station was located. You know, you got to think about it. They were kind of betting on the come because they didn't know what kind of station this was, and they were basically going on my promise that this was going to be a radio station that the community could embrace because it was going to reflect the activities of the community. It was going to be a community-based, a community-grounded type radio station, the way radio used to be.
All right, good job there.
If you truly want to know the right answer, not what you want to hear, but if you want to hear what you need to hear, ask him. Because there's no holds barred. He is an honest, open. He's not running a popularity contest. Is he always right? To him, probably.
On the watch line, this is the party line. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Colonel. Happy Friday to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll tell you what spoils my grandeur.
Well, party line is, I can honestly tell you that from day to day, we really don't know which direction the program is going to go.
Halliburton or whoever they are, wrap themselves in the flag, okay? And they even pay for commercials about how wonderful they are, how philanthropic they are, how much they give to this country, how much they love this country. And yet, here's Tyson involved underhandedly, and this isn't the first time, because when we had AIM, Americans for Immigration Moratorium, they were behind financially and spiritually, whatever you want to call it, these groups that were against Americans taking charge and doing something about the illegal problem. I don't appreciate being threatened like that by probably somebody that's here illegally in my own country. And I think it's absolutely horrible and despicable that a company like Tyson's, or any other company for that matter, would stick up, in a church too, the Catholic Church, would stick up for illegals and try to hide people that are here illegally just for their own bottom dollar, and that's what it all boils down to. And Colonel, did you happen to see this?
Well, I think so. I think it's great, simply because it is a home-owned, home-operated radio station that certainly is very entertaining and controversial at some point in time, and but I enjoy it very much, listening to the term.
Military. What do you think about somebody that's a traitor like that, that's destroying our country economically by stealing from us during this quote-unquote war? I'd just like to hear your response. Have a good weekend, sir.
All right. Well, I tell you what, if you'll recall, and I think you'll agree with me that this has been the situation when it first started popping up, people were reluctant to talk about it because it made them look like that they were prejudiced, that they were bigots, and things of this nature. Very, shall we say, undesirable type people. And you would hear comments like, well, we're a nation of immigrants. And you still hear that argument today. I said from day one, and I still say here on day 10, that it ought to be looked at from a business point of view. If the argument is that we need foreign nationals to do work that will not be done unless we have those people, then let's have a generous guest worker program, but let's not encumber our economic well-being by letting them bring their families over here, by letting them qualify for educational benefits or health care or social support services. It has nothing to do with whether somebody is prejudiced or not, because I love Hispanics. I love people from other countries. Let's go to another call. This is the party line. Good morning.
Good morning. I'd like to say to the American consumer out there, boycott these Chinese products. And I think American people can really hurt China and send a message to them that we don't want your junk. You know, it's just junk is all it is. It's Chinese junk. And the American consumer needs to boycott and not buy anything made in China. Thank you, sir, and you have a good weekend.
Well, thank you, sir. We're on the party line this morning, Soapbox of the Air. Let's go to another call. This is the party line. Good morning.
Good morning, Colonel.
Hello.
I got word that the Lions has got the elementary schools to do a poster on peace. I was going to resign because I would not be part of anything that's in a peace movement. Because I am a military man, and I got 26 3/4 in. I'm out on 100% disability, and I support my military, man. I will not support any organization that is out to do anything that will harm our troops or our government. And I'd like to have somebody comment in the Lions Club who knows something about it. Thank you kindly.
All right, thank you. Well, on the surface, I can't say that would be bad for the Lions Club to be sponsoring a poster on peace. Now, you would have to know a little bit more about it to know if there's any hidden agendas here or if there's any insinuations as to what these posters should be or shouldn't be. But I think that there's nothing wrong with peace. Want to invite you out to Catfish John's. Now, they will be opening here in about 10 minutes out on Hudson Road. We'll be serving that Arkansas-grown farm-raised catfish cooked in peanut oil, so that it is low in cholesterol and very high in taste. So come on out. Now, if you're uncertain as to what to order, hey, we would suggest the Colonel's Choice. It's a catfish dinner and a bowl of pinto beans. It'll hit the spot on a cool day like today. If you like fish, you're going to love Catfish John's. You take care. Have yourself a great day. We love you.
Colonel, it's dinner time.
All right, John, I appreciate that. It's not every day that I get personal service.
Don't happen very often, that's true.
But I tell you, you're a good man.
How are you?
Very few stations are willing to give any of their airtime to the coverage of the more meaningful things going on in the region. And I can assure you that Kermit gets it. He understands the impact of agriculture. He knows that if he goes to the Washington County Livestock Auction on Thursdays, somewhere in the 11:30 time frame, he can give real-time information to a farm in northeast Benton County about what cattle prices are doing today.
You want me to introduce myself? I am Claude Nolan, direct from Rogers, Arkansas. I'm here now at the Washington County Livestock Auction testifying to this man here taking my picture. Woo! If I can get this man over here now, be sure to give a write-up. I've been coming to this livestock auction since 1951. He went inside. Come right in here. Come right in here. Get all these boys pictures right here. And get this right here. All these boys right here. And be sure to put under this is Gibbon Packing Company's main buyer.
Oh, it's not.
From the one of the main buyers. Right here, put a smile.
We're looking at prices here today. That's down maybe $5 a hundredweight from last week. That would be my impression. Got another nice-looking 540-pound steer coming through here from a limousine cross steer. Quality animal here today. Bring $1. This is quite a group here. And the change to buy at 102 is the price.
Yeah, I listen to radio, KURM Radio.
What programs do you like?
I don't know, just whatever they have on,
Do you ever listen to the auction on the radio, or are you mainly here?
I'm just auctioning down here. But I've been up the road 180 miles up by Rich Hill, Missouri, and I've turned the radio on, had KURM Radio on up there, and just loud and clear, got lots of power and it's clear. Listen to Kermit, whatever his name is, Kermit. But I've heard him come up the road 180 miles from here. On cattle, that's right. The station is loud and clear up there.
And on that note, we're going to kind of close down the shop today. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and good day from the Washington County Soapbox.
All right, we're on a commercial break. I'm going to play a report, and I'm just going to play it for like a couple minutes. I say, hey, I was up there, and it was the opening, and you fishermen want to hear this, you know. Hello, we're on the banks of Roaring River. Hey, we got
We're the only radio station in northwest Arkansas that has a air-driven mast. Now, there are other stations that have mechanical masts that mount to their van, and they raise those up manually.
Hi there, welcome to KURM Radio. I'm Ross Mulliken, I'm the news director here, and I'm going to take you around and show you the different aspects of the radio station itself.
We can keep any rain or also some dust and all of that out of the unit.
Show him that one with me, Ross, and put the real slow pitch on it, to where I sound like I'm a, you know, like I'm Zeus or someone up on a mountain of God.
Then I'll come back down onto the ground here.
You can just
go home, save your money, and drive a
car with busted motor. See, that was the Mickey Mouse there for a minute.
And if that's not good enough,
can you make a Mickey straight across, Ross?
I think I probably can.
Yeah. And we do this a lot of times.
Go.
A lot of times we do this when we're bored, too.
Save your money. Free checking for life. It's not like a great big panda bear, running around without a care, hugging people everywhere. Find out.
How long have you been listening to KURM?
For years. As long as this store's been open 16 years, we've been listening to it every morning.
What's your favorite thing about the station?
Dial trade. That's my favorite.
If you're on a cell phone, give location of where the items are, and only one firearm per call. There are 3 programs a day. If you're a frequent user, call 1 show per day. All right, let's get back to the phone lines. KURM's Dial-A-Trade.
Oh my God, I got on.
You're on Dial-A-Trade. KURM's Dial-A-Trade. KURM's Dial-A-Trade. KURM's Dial-A-Trade.
I got a hillbilly mountain man carving I'd like to sell. And it's about 4 foot tall, and it's got a whiskey jug in one hand and a welcome sign it's got on a post in the other hand. And I'd like $250 for it. And I'm going to sell it at the Lions Club dance. I've sold a lot of stuff on Dollar Trade. I sold a rifle on Dollar Trade, and they're always helpful in selling stuff. I use a chainsaw with a quarter tip bar. My favorite saw is a Husqvarna.
Are you not listening to a radio or what, you know? And that's kind of mean on my part, but that's the people that don't even listen, and we get those kind of calls all day long. And this show is for KURM listeners, and if you're a listener, you obviously know when Dollar Trade's on, have your radio on. And let's get back to Dollar Trade on this Saturday. You're on Dollar Trade?
Yes, sir, I have.
If you're a frequent user of Dollar Trade, like every day, once a day is enough, not 3 times a day. So what Ross is going to do here, I hope, is just preface, you'll hear, just preface it that we're getting complaints. You're calling every show. Could you please cut it down to 1 call a show? And then if he gets smart with Ross can just tell him, if you don't do that, we'll just cut you off. I mean, you can cut anybody off you want. That's the best thing about it. Call-in show. You know, if somebody says something you don't like, you just cut them off. Now, I don't make any bones about it. I just said, hey, you didn't hear what I said. Next call, you know.
But I always end up getting to do these phone calls because Tommy's too nice a guy and he's afraid to get mad at people. So
that's right. And Ross is from Michigan, where they're heartless and cold.
Sir, this is Ross Mulliken at KURM Radio. How are you doing today? Well, that's good. The reason I'm calling is that we've received some complaints about how many times you're calling into our Dollar Trade program. So I was really calling to ask you if you could please limit your use of the program to once a day. I would really appreciate that. All right, thank you, sir. You have a nice day. And that's it.
What'd he say?
He said, okay. I mean, there's no reason to be...
He comes to work early, he leaves late, and in between the time he comes to work and goes home, he has fed cows probably once or twice, and he's managed his way through who knows how many crises during the day. But that's just my dad. He's a tireless worker. Weekends, holidays, it doesn't make any difference. So he's really kind of the last of a dying breed, I'd say. But I wish he'd slow down a little bit, kind of smell the roses some. But I also know what makes him happy. And what makes him happy is to be down there every day looking after his operation and looking after his cattle.
Welcome to where time stands still, no one leaves and no one will. Moon is full, never seems to change, just labeled mentally deranged. Dream the same thing every night, I see our freedom in my sight. Locked doors, no windows barred, no things to make my brain seem scarred.
I'm reaching the twilight of my career, and one of these days will retire. If the subsequent owners choose to be like other radio stations and play music and do little in the community, then the station will become just like the other radio station.
Well, if there's somebody bought it, I guess I'd have to listen to it, but I sure wouldn't. I hope they don't sell it.
Just leave me alone.
I don't think Kermit's going to sell. He's going to stay there. He likes these Arkansas people. He feels sorry for us.
Build my fear of what's out there, cannot breathe the open air. Whisper things into my brain, assuring me that I'm insane. They think our heads are in their hands, but violence use brings violent plans. Keep him tight, it makes him well. He's getting better, can't you tell? No more can they keep us in. Listen to it, we will win. They see it right, they see it well, but they think this saves us from our hell.